This is my normal talking voice. There are 2 fucking flies in here, and I swear to God,
annoying.
if one of them flies through the microphone and hits it, I'm gonna commit murder. I'm gonna be committing homicide
On the fly.
to the fly. Welcome to another episode of My Body, My Jokes. I'm your host, Morgan Gallo. That's my name. We're coming to you from Dude IDK Studios in Denver, Colorado. It's hot outside today. We got the AC on in here. There's like flies flying fucking around the studio. And I also have Anissa with me. Anissa, what's up?
Woohoo! Hello.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Every time.
Woohoo!
That's your new catchphrase.
Yay.
I love it.
It's my favorite word.
So we are recording. This will come out in a few weeks. This is what I love about podcasts is that you record and then you say something and it doesn't get released for a few weeks. So you're like, am I out of date? But I am recording this almost exactly 2 weeks after I have released the first 2 episodes of this podcast. And Anissa, I don't know how you feel, but that week, those first few days where the podcast was kind of a roller coaster emotionally.
For sure.
Did you feel that way?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, and you probably for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I want to know what you have to say, but so I released the podcast 2 weeks ago, the first 2 episodes, the first solo episode, and then me and Jocelyn Sharp, who I'm so glad came on the pod. She had so many like really amazing things to say, and I got a lot of good feedback. You know, I got some feedback from women that were like, thank you so much for talking about this. This is so cool. I actually had a lot of comedians come up to me at shows and open mics and being like, wow, like that's so cool you're talking about that. I've struggled with this for so long and I can't seem to talk about it on stage. So it's really brave that you're doing it. So it felt good. Like the first day felt very vindicating, and I was like, okay, I've been working on this. I've always wanted to talk about my recovery. I've always wanted to be more authentic online. I did it. Boom, it's happening. And then the red tide came in, and I was bombarded with these comments from, you know who I'm about to say, creepy men that just went in on the poster and the topic of the podcast. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was pretty upset. Like that weekend after I had released it on that Wednesday, that weekend, I was like, I like had a crying sesh because I was like, am I doing something stupid? Like, should I not be doing this? Is this gonna derail all the work I've put into my comedy platform so far? And what happened was, I posted the cover art for the podcast, which I love it so much. Anissa spent so long making those frickin' bubble letters and like designing it by hand. And we basically just like photoshopped it on top of a photo of me holding like a white poster. Cause you know, My Body, My Jokes were playing off of like, I'm at a protest, my body, my choice type thing. And, it was actually my boyfriend's idea to make it look as if I were naked, because originally I was going to hold the sign above my head. I was wearing a cute little outfit, and he was like, okay, hear me out. We can't get the photo, like the full photo of your body and the sign in the same square. It's going to be too small. So he was like, what if you just made it look like you were naked behind the poster? And I immediately was like, hell yeah. Any chance I get to make people mad on the internet, I'm like, let's do it. So all I did was like take my straps from my tank top down and I hiked up my skirt. But everyone thinks I'm genuinely naked behind the photo, which is the beauty of Photoshop. It's so dumb. But I posted that photo and I love it. I feel like I look cute. I spent a lot of time editing it. And the first few comments I got were from men saying things like, now take the same photo without the poster. Oh, now I'm gonna come take the poster from you. Ooh, what's behind the poster? And I'm just like, at that point, I was so fed up with all of these men saying this that I commented back on one of them, which I never do. I almost never do that. And I commented back to a guy and I was like, oh, look, another man sexualizing me in my comment section. And it got a lot of likes, but it also got a lot of replies from the original commenter and you know, he did that thing where he starts like listing off. He's like, number 1, you decided to post this photo. Number 2, you decided to have an OnlyFans and flaunt it. Number 3, and like, it just, oh God, it just went down this road where so many men were telling me that them sexualizing me was my fault and I'm the one posting photos of my body. And I just don't get it. And so I had a really hard time. Now I feel better. I feel like I'm on the right track. Something that has been kind of tough to deal with, but also like exciting, is that I've lost 2,500 followers since I posted it. And I think that's a good thing. Obviously it sucks. You know, it's like not fun to know that people are unfollowing you because they were never really a fan in the first place. Because if they were really a fan, they would care about me recovering. But I'm glad that the people who don't actually fuck with me like saw themselves out, you know, like they saw that I was changing my brand a little bit. They were like, okay, she's going to start talking about these things. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm out of here. And I think in a way that's kind of like poetic. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, this bitch is going to start telling us about her recovery. Stick with the dick jokes. I actually had a guy say that, Anissa. I don't know if you saw that. There was a guy that commented and goes, stick with the dick jokes, immediate unfollow.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, bye. You know what I mean? Like if you don't care that I'm bettering myself, then you were never a fan of me anyway. So that happened. And I had to kind of go through this, like, I don't know, few days where I just didn't look at social media. I let myself relish in the fact that like we did it. Like we put the podcast out. You know what I mean? Like we spent all this time working on it. We have gotten a little bit into a rhythm. It's out there. We're doing it. People know we're doing it. And now we just get to like enjoy the process. But yeah, it was really tough for those few days. Did you see any of those comments? I know you love reading comments. Oh God.
I saw too many. And it's just like, yeah, a lot of the comments were about how they wanted to see what was behind the board. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's just so unoriginal.
I
and
know.
like I even
Be more clever.
I know, like take a creative writing class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all of the clips that we had put out were clips of like, you know, me the first episode talking about like body positivity and stuff, and then with Jocelyn like talking about that stuff. And it just is so weird to see so many creepy, weird men be so against women expressing themselves. And I've actually weirdly been on a lot of podcasts the last like 3 weeks. Like people have been having me on their podcast, which is really cool. So I've been talking a lot about this, but yeah, it was just so fucking frustrating. And the whole like, you have an OnlyFans, you did this thing, which by the way, I do have one. If you don't know that, it's like, I don't really keep it a secret. I'm pretty open about it, but I don't like post about it on my Instagram or my Facebook. The most I'll do is put a story out, and a story with like a link, and the link won't say OnlyFans. The link will say something stupid like click on this, whatever. But a lot of dudes came back with this energy of like, you're complaining about us sexualizing you, but you do it to yourself. You decide to sell your body for money. And my thing is like, yeah, but like the difference is you're paying me. Like the difference is like, yeah, like you have to pay to message me on OnlyFans. It's not like a free for all. Like, and it's also super PG-13. Like I don't post bits and pieces of me. I don't do videos. I don't like chat with people. I don't do custom content. I don't like make videos specifically for one person. I just like take photos in like a bikini equivalent and like post it, and they're like, it's your fault that I can't keep my dick in my pants.
And also I pay for you, so like,
yeah,
you should do what I say because I pay for
right?
your subscription.
It's the same dudes that like they'll comment on my Instagram and be a dick, but then they'll be the ones that's like, hey, if I pay you $50, can you do this for me? And I'm like, no, dude. But my thing is, yeah, I have a profile on that website, but you're interacting with me on a different website. You're interacting with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Notice how that isn't onlyfans.com. Like if you saw someone in the wild that you knew for a fact worked at a strip club. You see them in public. You know that they work at a strip club, but you're seeing them at a coffee shop. Would you go up to them and ask them for a lap dance? No, because they're not at work and they're not on the clock. Like, you don't do that. So if you can't handle speaking to someone with respect because of your own horniness, then like you got some shit to do. Right. Also, I just block anyone and everyone now. Like, I used to never do that. I used to think that I should just leave people's comments up and be like, you know what? If they're a bad person, leave the comment up. Everyone can see that they're a bad person. But now I'm like, nope. You say one thing wrong one time, you are blocked immediately. I don't care how many fans I lose. They're all stupid men anyway. Like, bye. Anyway.
No, I don't know if you know this, but at Olive Garden, when people pay me to get them their food, I also give them sloppy toppy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like unlimited soup and salad and a BJ if you give me some of your extra Alfredo. Yeah. That's nice.
And then we like shake hands, call it a day.
Yeah. It's same vibe. Same vibe.
Same.
You said earlier that you have a pop culture update for me, and I'm very curious to see what you mean by that.
It's like sort of serious, so trigger warning.
Oh shit, okay, it's serious.
Trigger warning.
Is this, when you say pop culture, do you mean like stuff going on TikTok?
This is, I would say, YouTube. But like this person is also super famous within
shit,
a bunch of different platforms. But because he's a YouTuber. It's like sort of old news, so I feel like you might know about it, but it's about Cody Co.
Oh, I saw someone said something about this to me, but I don't know the whole thing. So tell me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Well, okay, so back in 2021, I think, the dates are a little fuzzy for me because I don't exactly know the whole timeline. Yeah. But apparently this was brought up in 2021 about how Tana... Do you know Tana?
Oh, Tana something?
Tango Mongo?
Yeah.
Tana Mongo. I don't know.
I think it's something like that.
I love Tana. I like watched Tana for the longest time. And like, she's known as a controversial YouTuber.
Oh,
but
is she?
People, yeah.
Okay.
But people are using that against her when she's like talking about this. But basically, her and Cody Co hooked up, but when she was underaged. I think shit. She was like 17 and he was like 25. Can you believe that?
Oh, okay, yeah. Someone did. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought it was. Crazy. It was like he was... God, that is such a huge age difference.
That like...
8 years? 8 years is so different when you're like in your late 20s and you're dating someone, but when you're 17?
No, that's crazy.
Holy shit.
What do you even talk about? You know, it's like...
I don't fucking know. The bus stop?
No, for
real.
The
bus routes? What are you talking about? Especially a 25-year-old dude... Oh my God! Did they just meet because of like YouTube? Was it one of those?
I think it was Vine. Like
Vine.
Yeah, like they were both blowing up on Vine, and Vine.
Oh wow! So this was like a while ago.
This is a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I think she's like my age.
Yeah, she's your age. Yeah. So this happened a long time ago, but it was brought up.
Oh like, shit! Okay, so this is like an ongoing like, hey, acknowledge this.
Yeah, crazy. And so sorry, the fly.
I know, the fucking flies in here, dude.
I feel really bad for Tana because everyone is saying that because she's so controversial that like she's lying.
Oh.
And I'm like, it's like, so like there's proof that she wasn't lying, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they would make vines together when she was 17 and he was 25.
Oh,
like,
okay. So
like
it's like a well documented relationship.
Like they made content with each other.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, and I think he just took advantage. And I just think it's so sad because people are, you know, Tana. It's like, oh, Tana shows her body off, blah blah blah. It like goes along with men sexualizing women just because of like the clothes they wear.
So is what's happening right now just the fact that she's just bringing it up and people are saying, or is something like going on? Like, is she suing him or something? Oh, it's resurfacing. Okay.
Oh, it got brought up again recently because she went on tour, like a live podcast tour.
Oh, okay.
So basically her and Brooke.
Yeah.
Canceled pod. They went on tour and during the tour they brought it up again. But it was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be a private thing. So like, if I'm not mistaken, I think everyone had their phones either put away, or if they were seen with a phone, they were taken out.
Oh.
But whoever this person was got footage of like Tana
so she's going around the
it.
country talking about this.
Low key, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And,
but
like,
she's doing one. It's like
yeah.
they yonder your phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
and no one's like giving a fuck, basically, because Cody Co has such a big platform.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
that is really
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's really shitty because like, why would she lie about that?
Yeah, exactly.
And also like, it's so annoying because that's what happens a lot to women is like, if they don't do something about it the day after it happens and they sit with it for years and then it comes up, people are like, oh, well, why didn't you do something like after it happened?
Right.
And it's like, well,
I'm like,
it
shut the fuck
sounds
up.
consensual. Like it sounds like she consented to hooking
have
up
no
with
idea.
him. But like,
He should have
even
known better.
Right. Even if it was consensual, like that's still taking
Illegal.
advantage of a minor,
No,
dude.
literally.
Like,
It just boggles my brain.
oh my God. That
And,
is wild, dude.
And he's like a part of the commentary YouTuber community.
Okay.
And so...
What does that mean? Commentary? Like he
they,
watches
like,
videos and comments
basically.
on it? Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's like a
God,
subgenre.
YouTube is such a dense fucking jungle of content. I don't
It really
understand
is.
it.
But there's like a whole community of them, and they're all friends, and no one would talk about it. But like these are the same commentary YouTubers who would call out like Logan Paul, Andrew Tate, like for doing the exact same thing.
Interesting. Yeah, because Noelle and Cody seem like a very like ally type of couple of guys. Like they seem
Right.
very chill.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so now that all this is like coming up and resurfacing,
Wow.
everyone's like, what do we do? And so there's like one commentary YouTuber, and he's a pretty popular commentary YouTuber. His name is D'Angelo Wallace.
Okay.
He made a video basically talking about the Cody Co situation, and that's why, and that's literally why everyone is like now against Cody Co. Like it had to have taken a man,
some
about
dude
that.
had to go. Oh
Yeah.
God.
just for like Tana to like start being believed
Yeah.
about that kind of thing. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
I just like don't understand like why when women say these things, like it sounds like she's not going around saying that he assaulted her. It sounds like she's just being like, look, we hooked up
When I was a minor,
but I was a minor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like she's not like making it into something that it's not. And it's like, you can form your own opinion about what that means to you, a 25-year-old and a 17-year-old. But I think the general consensus is that that's pretty fucking
You're
gross.
sick. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Wow.
Crazy stuff.
Ugh, I hope she's okay.
yeah.
I don't really know
Me
a
too.
lot about YouTubers and like all those people. Like I only hear about like that kind of drama through, it used to be TikTok when I was on it, like when like James Charles had
Oh my
that whole thing
God.
with that other girl or whatever, or
That
like
was peak cinema.
yes, or like
That was
Trisha
so-
Paytas.
yeah.
With what's that guy's name? Ian or something?
Um,
Ethan
Oh,
from
yeah.
H3 Pod.
Yeah.
Dude. See, I don't even know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know all the. To me, the drama is like, oh my God, Biden dropped out.
Oh, no, for
you know what I
real.
mean? Like, that's to me.
Kamala.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, vote for Kamala because we fucking need it. But wow, I'm so glad I got that update.
Yeah,
I feel like
there you go.
I gained 3 brain cells. Honestly, that was
Or lost.
or
3 brain
lost. You know what? But
cells.
it's okay because
Yeah.
this podcast is about losing and gaining parts of yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that I want to share another page of this Thinspiration Journal because it's very important to me. I just want to get it out there. I feel like this is really insane and people need to know about this because it's weird. So in the last solo episode I did, I talked about this Thinspiration Journal that I started writing in 2012. So I was 16, I think, at the time, or about maybe turning 17 that year or something like that. Yeah, 17. And so this journal was something that I would write in to, like, I guess, motivate myself to starve and to lose weight. But I thought I was like doing something really healthy by, you know, being like, oh, I'm going to inspire myself to lose weight and this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. So I read the first entry, the last episode, and what I've been doing with my therapist is rewriting an entry on the back of each page. So I write, like I read the first one from, 2012, and then I kind of rewrite something similar on the back of the page to kind of like work through it. So I haven't read, I don't know what this one says quite yet. So this is dated December 28th, 2012. When we all thought the world was going to end, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that? Remember that?
Crazy time.
I low-key was like, I fucking hope the world... like, I was like, I hope I don't wake up tomorrow. I'm kind of sick of this shit. So anyway, this says, it's been a really hard year. I don't know if experiencing this many emotions in 1 year is even normal. From depressed to sad to accomplished to undefined and from joyful to lost. What am I even doing in my life? I think it's because I don't have a constant in my life. I really don't have one thing that is my rock. School, family, friends, food, my body, and my emotions are never stable. I feel full. I feel sad. I feel lonely, big, unwanted, dumb, angry, unaccomplished, and lost. Jesus Christ. But I'm also hungry. I'm hungry for a new beginning, a new me, a new effort towards beating this eating disorder. But I need to stick to it, not give in. I need someone to be here for me who isn't going to inject their own opinion to the situation. And then I wrote a bunch of really mean shit about my mom. Oh, God. This is like how you can tell I was so deep in the eating disorder, because in my brain, I'm thinking that the only way to get rid of the eating disorder is to like only eat healthy food for the rest of my life, work out every day. And like, that's the only way that I'm never gonna like starve myself or binge. Like, I don't know why at that age, I guess I just didn't understand that I had an eating disorder, but I like knew at the same time. Yeah, this is so funny. I read all this shit about my mom. Oh God, that's so bad.
It all stems. It stems from somewhere.
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing, like, I haven't really talked to my mom about this podcast, and it's not because I don't want her to know about it. Like, she's on social media, but I know that she feels somewhat guilty for the way that she treated me as a child. And I think when I bring that up to her, she's not fully ready to accept the fact that she was wrong, and that as an adult, I'm still like working through it, because I can tell like in this entry that I'm clearly very upset because I'm saying things like, she doesn't get what I'm going through. Like, I can't deal with her being so insensitive towards me. And I think it's because at that time, I really was just trying to like lose weight all the time. My only goal in life was to lose weight. And so when I wasn't hitting that goal, my mom made it known that she was like, could see that I was still fat or that I was binging or whatever it was. And so I'll probably talk more about my mom on here. I'm not afraid to talk about her. I think it's just one of those things where like, it's such a tricky subject. Like, so many people have like that almond mom relationship. And it's like, I'm 28 years old and I still haven't resolved it. I talked about my mom in therapy today. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still working through it. So this is what I wrote on the back. I wrote on the back of this, it's April 13th, 2024. Some years are harder than others. Life is full of lessons, disappointments, and reasons to smile. And how boring would it be if it wasn't like that? How truly awful would it be to never experience pain so that you can eventually feel joy again? The one constant I've had my whole life is my eating disorder. He follows me everywhere, from city to city, relationship to relationship, job to job. But now things are changing. My new constants look more like morning affirmations. They feel like pride in my recovery progress. And they smell like home-cooked meals full of foods I love that I no longer fear. My rock is my boyfriend. Shout out. Between everything we've gone through, that man has never backed down. Even through the hardest of times, I know we'll come out of it together. My mom is who she is. I'm not her, and my inner voice that sounds like her no longer has a place in my life. She's welcome to live her life as she chooses, and so am I. She will always be my mom, but sacrificing my self-worth for her approval isn't an option anymore. That's pretty fucking profound, dude. One day,
Good
you know what I'm
shit.
going to do? One day I'm going to publish this as like a series of essays.
There you go.
I don't know why. I'm probably a little delusional thinking that people want to hear about my recovery journey, but I genuinely feel like I have seen so many people talk about their recovery journey in the past tense. They're like, you know, when I was in recovery, I did this. Now that I'm out of it, I'm doing this. And for me, I'm like, yeah, but like what happened during it? Like, what did you do in the years when you were physically going through recovery? Like, what does it look like? So I'm literally just hoping that maybe even one person out there listens to this and is like, oh, wow, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? Plus, that journal is just too insane not to share. Like there's no way I'm not going to like read that to the world. Especially some of the later entries get like really in depth. I haven't even gone through all of it, but one of them is like a chart of my weight, and like I like write down my weight every week. Some of them are like lists of things. Like it gets pretty insane. Like this was a really hard year for me. But yeah, that happened.
How do you feel right now, like in terms of your recovery?
I feel really good. I feel like I have accomplished a lot in a very short amount of time. And my nutritionist actually said to me the other day, because I was talking about my relationship with sweets and like dessert. And she was like, hey, do you realize like how long it took you to be okay with sweets? And I kind of was like, I don't know. And she was like, there were like a few months there where you were like not like you were kind of like struggling. And it feels so good to know that I'm making progress because even though it's really little stuff, like even knowing that I can keep certain foods in my house and not feel like I have to eat them all at once or like completely avoid them is really freeing in a way. I still have trouble with like my body, and what I've heard through my therapist and my nutritionist and other like recovery resources is that body image tends to be the last thing that kind of goes when you're recovering. It tends to be the last thing that you have to like let go of, because the first thing is just getting on a normal eating schedule, like eating 3 meals, eating your snacks, you know, and then for some people, even like movement is really difficult to do. Sometimes they restrict you from like doing any exercise for a while, just to get back in tune with like your hunger and fullness cues. And then, you know, you do all this other work with like your emotions and your coping mechanisms and your schedule and your eating. And then like the last thing that you can tackle is your body image. And it totally makes sense because it's a bitch. It's such a bitch. I don't know how people get there. Like I follow a lot of curve models, and I love them, and like I love seeing their outfits and how they show off their bodies. And they're always like, I love my body. I can't imagine being in a different body. I can't imagine living differently. And I'm like, how did you get there? What ticket did you buy to get there? I want to know, because some days I feel like I'm the most beautiful person on earth. And then other days I'm like, I need to go under the bridge where I belong. Yeah. I'm going to be guarding the gates of Mordor or whatever the fuck with all this. But
well, that's good. That's
really
good.
It feels like, I don't know what the word is. It's like freeing in a way, but it also like is like scary because I'm scared to lose it. Yeah. You know, like I'm scared to like go back. I don't think I'll ever go back in a way, but I've had a few, I guess you'd call them relapses. They're not really like relapses, but like setbacks. And that in those moments, I'm like, fuck, am I like actually going to get through this? Like, am I going to be able to do it? But I did have a win. This is so silly to say out loud, but I had a win this last week where I used to, if I was binge eating, or if I was not in my binge mode and I was in my restrict mode, I wouldn't let myself eat a lot of foods. And one of those foods was like nachos. And I don't know. I just, all these random foods, I just like was like, no, absolutely not. But if I was binge eating, I would like make nachos at home all the time. I just love them. So this past week I've been eating nachos, but I've been making them into like a meal. So instead of just like chips and cheese or whatever, I like get a plate and I get like the chips and the cheese and I like cook some beans to get like protein, and then I put like shredded lettuce and like salsa on top and like some guac. I'm like making it a full, you know what I mean? Like a full like
so good.
nutritious meal, and it feels so good to know that I can eat that and the world is not going to end. Like I'm not going to like gain 1 million pounds. I'm not going to like have to starve myself tomorrow. I can just eat it and move on. Just move the fuck on.
Woohoo.
Yeah. So that was a win. That was really cool. I posted on my story and I felt silly doing it, but I'm like, no, I should just start doing this more. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I mean?
like, it's like very vulnerable. It's like
letting
people know what you're going through, but also like if you're going through it,
then
you're not alone.
Yeah. And I think that's like something that I'm trying to accomplish through everything I'm doing, from stand up to the podcast to social media, because even in my stand up now, I'm being like pretty straightforward about shit. Like I'm working on a joke about my body image issues. And some people really relate to it. Some people really don't. And that's like fine with me. But I'm just hoping that like at any point, whether it's at a show or online or in person, that I can like help someone feel less alone. Because I felt like that so much growing up. I was like, oh, I'm surrounded by skinny people and everyone is perfect except me. This sucks. So that happened. But I think let's like lighten the mood. Well, this is actually, I don't know if it's lightening the mood or just making people want to vomit in their mouths, but I have some DMs to share with the people.
Okay.
I love sharing DMs because I think people don't realize the kind of shit that women get messages. Like they don't know that women get these messages. And I'm like, oh no, honey, we're doing this. So, what's in my DMs? Part fucking, I don't know. It's been way too many to count. I got one DM where I posted a clip of my friend saying something about Donald Trump. And it was like a clip where she was like, you know, if why wasn't there a good guy with a gun to protect him if y'all love guns so much? And I thought it was so funny. So I posted that. And then this guy responded and just said, you dumb cunt. He doesn't have a profile photo. Just that, which honestly, chef's kiss. Straight to the point, 3 words, 3 syllables, amazing. And then this other guy messaged me one day. This is June 4th at 4:40 p.m. And he says, I'd love to date you. And then on June 30th, he said, marry me? And that was it. That was the whole conversation because I didn't reply. This other guy messaged me on Facebook February 29th at 8 a.m. So early bird was getting the worm today. He said, let me just say that if I were to sit down at a computer and put in all the information of quote unquote ideal woman, and then in parentheses he says bleep bloop blurp, and hit enter, it would produce you. I'm sure you never get shout outs on social media, especially from dudes. So I am excited to be the first. At this point, I would try to say something funny to show you I'm not crazy, ... But I'm talking about a world where a computer can create people, ... Plus this whole exchange, ... So fuck. Ah, horseshit. Okay, yeah, you're cool. Bye. And then in parentheses, he wrote, walks backwards slowly out of a room. This is giving such raw XD Tumblr energy. Like this man has not exited his emo 2013 era. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that made me want to just crawl in a hole and die. I hated reading that. And then this guy actually DM'd me from Norway, and it's a screenshot of a conversation that he had with an account called Morgan Gallo. And it's using a photo of mine that's not my profile photo, but it's like a photo I took a while ago. And so the screenshot that he took of the conversation with him and this person impersonating me, the person impersonating me says, hi, you look handsome. Hope you're having a great day. If I ever message that to you, it is 1000% a bot. I would never say that to anyone but my boyfriend. And then he responds and he goes, "Is this really you? Thank you. That just made my night. I hope if you're doing a show, it sells out." And then I guess the person, the person pretending to be me then responds, but it's cut off. And it says, "Indeed, yes, am delighted to have brought a sparkle to your evening. Your kind words warm my heart, and I appreciate your well something." And it cuts off. So he sent me that screenshot. And then he says, "As flattering as this would be, I'm pretty sure I'm being scammed." And I was like, yeah, no shit. That's like if someone calls you and they're like, "Hey, oh my God, you have a credit card debt of $10,000. Why aren't you paying this off?" And you give them your credit card. Like, that's on you. At this point, it's on you. So that's exciting. This one guy DM'd me and just said, "You are the funniest man." I would agree. Christopher. Thank you. I appreciate it. Got some pretty big balls in these jeans. And then this other guy, I'm surprised that I didn't find his messages until now because it's a series. We love a good series. We love it when men send 15 texts over the course of a year. And this one is pretty great. So March 11th, 2023 at 2:30 a.m. "Please, oh please, you're a miracle. Love that you do stand up. Keep working on your craft. Hope to meet one day." And then April 6th, 2023 at 10 a.m. "Fuck, you're sexy. Can I FaceTime you?" And then June 4th, 2023, he says, "Ugh, you're so sexy. Hit me up." September 26th, 2023. "Damn, you so fine. I see you coming to Florida." This guy really does not have good grammar. March 20th. "You're in Florida. We should meet, babe." And then finally, May 24th, 9 a.m. "I'm really trying to see your titties."
Oh God.
What a climax, honestly. He was climbing that hill. He got to the peak and he said, "Well, she's not answering. Fuck it. I might as well say what I want to." Bravo, man. He never messaged me after that, which that was a great end to a great story. What a perfect little punchline. And then these aren't DMs, but this is a series of comments that I got from this one guy that were in such succession that I had to screenshot it. And he is now blocked from my profile, but I just figured I'd give him a little shout out because this is just interesting. This guy says on one of my posts, he puts 2 comments. It's, "Morgan has a great booty." And then it says, "Best ass this side of the Mississippi." And then on another video, he commented and said, "You got all the yummy parts of the milkshake behind the tiny billboard you are holding, Morgan." That was on my podcast post. And then he commented and said, "I hate your boyfriend," with a really mad emoji. And then the last time he commented before I blocked him was, "In my country, we always say #women with juicy booty and plump gazongas always get first chicken at lunchy. Morgan is tasty more than fresh plucked chicken roasted in banana leaf. Yes, this is how you say the cap no." Okay. And then the last comment was, "Also in my country, we hate your boyfriend. You need a shaman in your life." So, I mean, that was pretty horrible. That was honestly really horrible. I don't really have any reaction to this anymore. I'm so used to this that I don't know what to say anymore, Anissa. I truly don't know what to do.
That's so bad. Ugh. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Does it?
Yeah.
I talked to a few women online this week that were responding to some of my podcast posts, and they were like, "Genuinely, I don't know how you survive." They were like, "I don't know how your mental health is intact because I've gotten one message from one creepy dude one time and I blocked him and I couldn't do it ever again." And I'm like, yeah, this is like a daily occurrence. So that's really exciting. But I'm really excited. We have some cool guests booked coming up in the next few weeks. There's one more thing I want to talk about that I got that was a DM. I think I deleted it, but I want to talk about it because this tends to be a DM that I get sometimes. And I'm not really sure why people think that it's like okay to send. Okay, I deleted it, but the gist of it was when I post about having an eating disorder, I'm doing it because it's very cathartic for me, and because, again, like I've said a million times, I want to help other people. But sometimes I get this type of message from someone where they'll say something along the lines of this. This is what this person said to me today. They've known me for a long time. They responded to the story I posted and they said, I had no idea that you had an eating disorder. Can I ask you a question? Why? You're so beautiful. You have so much going for you. Why would you do this to yourself? I can't believe someone so beautiful could look in the mirror and think I'm not beautiful. And I didn't read the rest of the message because I immediately like deleted it and was like, I don't even want to hear from this person right now. And I hate getting those kinds of messages because I totally understand that the person is trying to be nice. They have good intentions. I know that what they're saying is, oh, wow, I can't believe someone that I perceive as attractive is struggling with an eating disorder. But the reason I hate getting those messages with that sentiment is because it feels really hollow to tell someone like, you don't deserve to have a mental disease because you're beautiful. And I don't know if a lot of people understand this, but eating disorders generally aren't about being beautiful or wanting to be beautiful. Eating disorders are about control. They're a coping mechanism. A lot of the time, they're a trauma response to something that has happened in your life. They are about so much more, and it is so much deeper than just looking in the mirror and thinking, oh, I look fat, so I'm going to like starve myself. That's really not how it works. A lot of people who have eating disorders actually are people that started with just dieting, and they started dieting for whatever reason. And then it turns into an eating disorder because when you realize you can control food and you can control how you eat it, where you eat it, what kind that you eat, whether or not you let people see how you eat, it turns into a much deeper thing. So if you see people talking about issues, please don't message them and tell them that they don't need to have that issue because they're pretty or whatever, because you're basically just saying, oh, well, you have the best thing in life, which is beauty, so you shouldn't have problems. Like, that's just really hollow and annoying. I actually had a guy comment on something on Facebook. I really need to not read those comments, but because I was going through and blocking a bunch of people. This guy commented on a clip of the podcast from last week and was like, you're so obsessed with your weight. There are people with real problems in the world. Grow up, or something like that. And instead of like deleting it and blocking him, I actually responded and I said, hey, thanks so much for commenting. Like, I'm in recovery from a 15-year-long debilitating mental illness. I'm doing this because it's cathartic for me. I'm doing this because I want to help people. Eating disorders don't discriminate. So just because you perceive me as whatever doesn't mean that I don't suffer from this. But yeah, I got that message today after I left therapy, and I immediately was like, well, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm doing. But I think that's the episode.
Woohoo.
What do you think?
I think that was great.
You think that was great?
Yes.
All right, let's do a little sign off, shall we? What should I say today? Oh, I have a good one. Okay. This is where we're ending the podcast with. Ready for this knowledge, Anissa? Mm-hmm. Eat your greens and don't be mean.
Mm.
Bye.
Period.
Period.
Ah!
Oh my God. Thank you so much for listening to My Body, My Jokes. Please be advised that the information provided in this podcast is for general discussion purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Always, always, always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare professional with any concerns you might have regarding the topics discussed in today's episode. Also, if you or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder, please call the National Eating Disorders Association helpline at 1-800-931-2237. Bye.